Equinox. Equinox.
Welcome to the Equinox special, Flat Earth Friday. How are you doing this evening, brother?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Shout out to everybody that's here in the chat. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of really cool stuff to go through tonight. There's something that Jeran did. It was almost a week ago, but we're going to be covering now that absolutely just blows the door off of the final false dichotomy PSYOP. And we're going to be going through the equinox on all three models of reality. We're going to be looking at it from heliocentrism's standpoint, from the pressurized pizza dome standpoint, and from the stereographic biblical virtual reality. And we're going to see that there's only one that works. And we're going to make sure everybody understands what the equinox is, when the equinox is. It's not tonight, but it's coming up soon. We'll be going through all of that.
So the key thing to understand about the equinox is the fact that the sun rises due east and sets due west. 9270 is the azimuth, or if you mark a circle on the ground and you make little ticks all the way around the circle, when you go to the 90 on the east side and the 270 on the west side, you'll be able to point your compass or that circle directly at the sun as it rises and sets. And the problem that arises with this is that on an AE circling map with the fake flat earth community, the sun would always be turning to the right. It would never be able to complete a due east, due west sunrise set. With the globe Earth, what we have is a tilt, which really complicates everything and completely destroys the idea that you live in a 23.5 degree tilted heliocentric reality that gets absolutely destroyed on the equinox, and this happens twice a year. So it's a really fun time of the year for me, and I'm looking forward to learning more tonight with you, Jay. What are your top moments you prepare?
Oh, there's quite a few. Um, I just got to ask you quick, where on Earth does the sun rise 90 degrees east and set 270 degrees west? Where?
So that's everywhere.
Everywhere. All right.
Everywhere.
Yeah, so there lies the huge problem with heliocentrism and with the pressurized pizza dome, and so many other things. We've got current flat Earth events that we're going to be going through. I mentioned the Jeran video, but we've also got Will Duffy regarding the final experiment. We've also got Nathan Oakley talking about, you got it, everybody, Coin Earth is coming up again. We're going to be explaining Coin Earth. That's the real version of the pressurized pizza dome. Their model that they've been showing everybody is irrational. And once again, we're going to show everybody what it takes to make that model rational. If you want to circle Earth, we'll show you what you have to do to understand that. We've got... we've the solar eclipse that took place in 2021. That is a monumental thing. Jeran brought that up, and simply by addressing that, by acknowledging that he knows that exists, y'all are going to see that really is the end of the idea of there not being a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And the way Jeran tried to slough it off, we're going to have some fun going through that. It's absolutely ludicrous. What else have you been seeing in the narrative of the fake flat Earth and all that you've been paying attention to?
So a lot of the people out there that are not in the inner circle, so to speak, moderators on Jeran's channel and McToon's channel, guys like Effed Up World, a lot of the regular people that are actually looking into the debate of the shape of the reality that we're in, don't have any trust or faith at all in Jeran. And they see this final experiment as an absolute mockery, just another hit piece. But this time they're going all out. So we're going to get into a little bit of that before we get off camera. But so what other things that I'm seeing is, a little downtick on people creating content with the actual flat Earth, but it's been that way for a while. There's been a lot of distractions with the politics as we head into this fall and the election season, election season. So a lot of the shift is being taken away from the shape of the Earth and all the fake assassination attempts and all this P. Diddy talk and all these other things are really dampening and quieting down the narrative that Will Duffy has been tasked with trying to mock, ridicule, and debunk anybody that believes in the Bible or the fact that the Earth is flat and stationary. That's been their goal right from the jump. What I didn't foresee is, at what level was Jeran involved in this? So to take it back to the main topic, it's becoming more and more apparent to me as basically a pattern recognition guy that I like to call myself. The patterns are continuing to seep into this, that there's nothing new here under the sun. It's the same old cons, the same old tricks. What you have now is, do you want to touch on this? So the supposed Willy Wonka golden ticket candidate, this Lisbeth character, who we're going to be bringing out, a nobody that's never been anywhere around flat Earth, wins the free trip supposedly to Antarctica, but unfortunately the flat earthers are such evil, wicked con charlatans that the person that supposedly offered the money has said that it was a big joke. Jason, what do you have to say about this?
It is a big joke to think that you have some wealthy benefactor that comes along to offer to pay $35,000 in change to send some flat earther to Antarctica, and that you wouldn't do anything to vet that it was a real offer. I mean, I would actually need to see an escrow account before I was actually going to start hyping that, because otherwise I would feel on the hook for it. So the fact that he got scammed, I think that should actually come out of Will Duffy's pocket. He should volunteer to make right what he did wrong to that person who I was friends with somebody that works at NASA or whatever. We can we can briefly go through this character that was supposed to be given the golden ticket. I mean, obviously they're slated to be part of this. They're going to get their grift on. Will said that he wasn't going to be crowdfunding for certain things, and now all of a sudden he supposedly has an excuse because he was taken advantage of by somebody running a scam on him, right? So this is the pastor that justifies lying, that has been caught in lies. Practically every other sentence that comes out of his mouth can be proven to be a lie, an intentional lie. And here he is, the victim, right? So we know how this all works. We know that this was part of a script that they had written to all of a sudden, woe is the poor globe earthers. They're being taken advantage of by flat earthers, and all of a sudden they have to get their grift on in order to pay for this, right?
Yeah, so it's the grift that never gives in. It never stops. It's constantly the grift that always gives. So what you see time and time again, when we first heard about the final experiment, it was a Red's rhetoric hangout where he was questioning who it was, who it could be. And Will was in the chat and he was reaffirming and reassuring them, because Will and them were saying, oh, this is just another grift. Will stated that there was in no way was this going to be a grifting opportunity. And so what we see here is you had Jeran shoot out of his mouth not that long ago, a few streams ago, that they might be getting deals on the tickets. So instead of it costing so much, it might only be 5,000 or even less. The Union Glacier Company might even be donating the spots for publicity, which any intelligent businessman or woman would do, right? So on top of that, their grift is just gone AWOL. And, you know, the other thing that I want to talk about, because I know we're probably going to go to our next song break soon, is that the setup, the mockery, the level of so it's basically like the ultimate straw man, right? What they've done here is they're constantly psychologically ridiculing anybody who believes the earth is flat and stationary, and they've done it by setting up multiple straw mans, right? So over and over and over again, everything has been set up, right from David Weiss denying the trip, right? The guy that said that if you go to Antarctica, it guarantees the earth is a globe. Dean O'Dole, another one. So what it's been is a psychological operation to not only shame, mock, and ridicule the fake flat earthers. Like Jeran Campanella has never been a flat earther, and we've been documenting since 2015 that he's an actual con man with rip-off reports, tons of them written about him. Now, he's tried to remove them all from the internet, but he hasn't. Okay, so there's nothing new under the sun. It was just an hour or two ago that Jeranism from Jeran Campanella did a video defending this, saying, you know, I'm usually glad to be on the good side, he's saying, the flat earth side, until now. Apparently now all the flat earthers are wicked, evil, shady con men, when it's Jeran Campanella that's been setting this up from day one. If people don't remember, he was the leading man, the head guy. They say it was Mark, but truly Jeran was the one that served up the ball earth. He proved curvature. So time and time again, we've got Grifter Jeran grifting away. We got Will, who's coming in at this. And if anybody's tuning in, the only people that actually think that this is legit, if you could leave a comment, send an email, because everybody I know, all the globe earthers know exactly what's going on. They know that this is fake and not real. And then if you're a flat earther and you can't see what Will Duffy's doing through the shame, the ridicule, the mocking, you really need to just start paying more attention. I'm pretty sure everybody else can see it. And I'm just fed up with it. The level of deception, the scamming, the mockery, and all the time while he's saying that he's doing this for the good of humanity, bringing together two sides, all they've done is set up a mockery of the actual truth that the earth is flat and stationary. And, you know, are you ready? Are you ready now to see the absolute most disgusting, the most evil, the most wicked? The creator has allowed us to have free will here, and this will guy has set it up so that you can believe that the Bible is an absolute lie. Everything in it is not true. Listen, if they supposedly prove that the earth is a sphere and that it's flying through space, you guys know that they're going to say that debunks the Bible. The book of Genesis is now debunked, right? And if they can do that, they're going to debunk the rest of the book. So if you're not paying attention, it's time that you wake up.
Wake up! All right. Well, is there anything else, or should we get into it? Let's go.
See the sign. Was it right? Out of mind, out of sight. When the wolf is at your door, and there's nothing you want more. When it all falls down and you can't get up, are you ready now? What's left to say? Said again. Anyway, walk the line, walk away. Doesn't change yesterday. See the sign. Was it right? When the wolf is at your door, and there's nothing you want more. When it all falls down and you can't get out, are you ready now? I'm ashamed every day, what a waste. I'm ashamed through the pain, I've a confession to make. I've made a mistake. Left it better today, but the wolf let it go. Hurry up, take it slow. Is it fate? Is it known? You will reap what you sow. Shame! Get around and watch the end of days. It's driving me insane. When the wolf is at your door, and there's nothing you want more. When it all falls down and you can't get out, are you ready now? I'm ashamed every day, what a waste. Unashamed through the pain, I've a confession to make. I've made a mistake. Left it better today, but the wolves are coming.
And we are back. And we're going to be going through this thing that Jeran did on Friday the 13th. You know, this is one of the few things that he hasn't put behind a paywall. So I don't know why. He should have, because it's going to look really, really bad on him. Have you seen this part, Ronnie?
I know the part we went over with how he misrepresents the sun's path, back, reversing it like all Satanists do.
Yeah, absolutely. What I want to do here is point out that he acknowledged the total solar eclipse of December 4th, 2021, and we are going to show how that absolutely obliterates the idea that the sun will not be setting in Antarctica. It will, right? It's going to be circling overhead. We know it because the eclipse proves it, right?
Yeah, they already had the sun where it should have already been set. It's all over the internet. It's not hidden anymore.
It's not hidden anymore. Now, there still is only one real footage from the north where we see a never setting sun. I mean, there's way more footage from the south showing up now. I haven't seen any more come in from the north. Just the
Isn't that
one.
weird, right?
Yeah.
It's very odd. So I happen to believe that it's much more fantastical. There's probably more lights, more special atmosphere there. But we're not allowed to investigate either pole, right? But these guys are.
All right, so let's go ahead and check this out. Same rules apply as always, brother. Stop me anytime you want. We want to go through and we want to break down a few things regarding what Jeran shared right here. Let's check it out.
Okay, that's better. Come on over. So yeah, type in Union Glacier and then you can see this is the mountains kind of that we were just looking at.
All right, I just want to point out to everybody, he's got this ground view of Union Glacier and he's looking at these mountains right in front of him. Guess which direction he's looking right now?
South.
All right, south.
Next to you, and then this is the ground floor there. I'm very confused by that though. That's not possible, right? These can't be 7,000 feet high and you're at the ground at 500 feet high.
So Jeran is going to focus on the height of these mountains. He's going to say this can't be 7,000 feet and whatever this is, because this isn't all that high right here, right? Maybe 1,000 feet, couple thousand feet. So whatever they say the height is here, how do we know how much snowpack is right here? They're mountains, but they're not huge mountains. This isn't like the Himalayas or anything like this.
These aren't 6,500 feet. I mean,
No.
the mountain is 2 miles tall? No, I don't think so. I'll have to look into that. It's weird. Google Earth didn't seem correct there. I wonder if we looked up real quick. I just want to look up Union Glacier on Wikipedia to see what it says.
Uh-oh.
Elevation is Union Glacier Park? Camp. Camp.
Oh, bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. This is the whole PSYOP's over already, everyone. So as soon as he looked up Union Glacier Camp and you saw this picture right here, if he had used Google Earth and actually taken the time to figure out which direction he's looking right here, he's going to see that right in the thumbnail for Union Glacier, we've got the sun to the south. We've used this.
Horizon.
We've used this in thumbnails before, trying to point it out to him, but now we know that he knows, right? Because
Well, it was in the original. He shared that he had searched it in his YouTube, but when he got to that, he started to quickly scroll away from it. Is what ended up. He doxed himself once.
Yep. Because all you have to do is go to Union Glacier Station, and you can zoom in here and see that this is the mountains right here. So they set up in this the space between these mountains. This mountain, it's mountains to the west over here, and then it's open to the east. This is how you can find your orientation there. So anytime you're looking at these mountains or this mountain over here, you are looking to the south. Right? You would think Jeran would be smart enough to be able to figure out that in this thumbnail right here, right, the sun is south and it's even above these mountains. Right? You can see the shadows coming off of the mountains. You can see them coming off of the tents. Do you think they faked this, Jeran?
I want the Wikipedia. Yeah, so it says 2,200 here on this. So I don't know if maybe my spot on the map was wrong. But according to this, I just saw... Where did I see it? Elevation, it's 2,300.
Look at how great he is at showing everybody. It's all hidden. He doesn't show any of the data ever. It's all hidden. But there's something coming up on the screen here that when I saw this, I'm like, how can he even, be scrolling far enough to show this? And he even addresses it. Check this out.
Feet. Double occupancy tents. And this is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. So, and I haven't really fully looked into this yet because I should, but let me show you.
You should, yeah.
Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Lie.
I gotta try and plan it out. But on this date, December 4th, 2021, there was a eclipse at the Union Glacier.
Whoa.
Wow.
People there got to see it.
We have been screaming this like right from the beginning.
Antarctica?
He doesn't watch because
Right. So this
we
one
tell
here.
the truth here.
And
I mean, look at this.
That's the clip we shared. Yeah.
This is the clip that we shared.
basically it's a short clip, but as you move your mouse like this, you can see that thing up here. You can see the sun moving right to left.
Oh.
To left.
So he was able to notice the sun is moving right to left.
Yeah.
Understand that that is coming from the west around south and then back to the east. That is right to left here.
Oh, person. And so this is December. This is kind of the weather that we have to expect, I'm guessing. But this is what I wanted to show you about.
He hopes.
Mm-hmm.
Eclipse. So if we put in that date and eclipse path. Okay, show you something kind of weird.
Kind of weird.
Okay, so I want you to pay attention to this eclipse path.
All right, before he goes into this, let's go through and he didn't really show everybody what is taking place here. We've got total solar eclipse 2021 at Union Glacier 360 experience, meaning hey, you can do this and you can look all the way around here, right?
But if you show this to Bro Sanchez, he's going to find the splice and tell you that it's CGI. So
Yeah.
be careful when you share this information, everybody.
All 360 footage, except for one camera, has a seam in it. That's what they do, is they seam it together. Because you got a front-facing camera and a backward-facing camera, and then there's seams. But so you can scroll across this, and you can see this. All the shadows are matching perfectly everything. And you can scroll across here and you'll start to see the sky darken up. Oh, look at what's happening over here. You see how the sky is darkening over this area? Watch these shadows. And gone. Alright. There's totality. So if Jeran was a researcher, he would do something like this, where he would bring up a tool like Stellarium. This is a stereographic virtual reality tool. It has the sun, moon, and stars rising from Earth and setting into Earth. Let's go ahead and show everybody what this would look like. That was set up for the equinox, but we'll just take this down to Union Glacier for the moment right here. And let's go out to this exact date. It's December 4th of 2021. And it was early in the morning. Oh, look at what we got here.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get ourselves set up here, and we'll see. There was our eclipse. Let's go all the way back around to when the sun is to the west. So this is December 3rd there, and now we're looking to the west, and what's happening here, this red line here is the ecliptic path. That's the path that the sun is on. So if we start scrolling this, you're going to see that nope, the sun did not hook around and go to the right out here. It's moving exactly. And what's this little dark spot in front of it? That would be the moon. So let's go ahead and get a lock on the sun here, so that as we roll the time,
Equatorial mount.
so we are moving from right to left right now. We are looking southwest. We are looking south. The eclipse hasn't quite happened yet, right? And
It's gonna start.
You see the moon getting close to the sun, and all of a sudden, boom, the eclipse is starting, and we will get to right there.
That was the
There's our-
moment that we just saw in the video.
Absolutely. We're looking
there.
to the southeast. And so here's the path of the sun where it's never setting. So if we just keep scrolling here, now all of a sudden the sun is rising again. The moon's moved out of the picture. We can go, oops. Came off the...
Give you a sunspot.
I guess I came off the time scroll.
Mm-hmm.
Little jumpy. Hopefully this is coming through all right. So that is how the just scroll around and the sun never sets. Let's get a wider view so you can see this. We'll go by the hours. So here's the sun going around the observer. The person is just turning and following the sun, and you can see it going up and down.
What's an equatorial mount view?
No. And it's never going
It's not
below
setting.
the horizon. So when you are at the North Pole and the South Pole, there's actually only one sunrise and one sunset a year
Right here.
at those locations. Now here, you get far enough away. This is like 79.5 degrees south, and you will have times where the sun never rises here, right? You have and you'll have multiple sunrise sunsets. If we go back to like in October here, watch what happens as you scroll the day up and down, up and down.
Many rise and sets.
Many rise and set up and down like that. All right, so this is what you know when you do a little bit of research. There's all these videos here. This wasn't faked, everyone. Look at the view that we have right here. Here's the camp. Here they are looking to the southeast. And this is where the total solar eclipse is. And watch this. And the shadows are going to disappear now. Gone. All right, there's your total solar eclipse right there. To the southeast. Here's another version of this. This is 8K 360, and it's set up higher. All right, do you see how it's up on a pole here? You get to see that same line of people. All the audio matches. You hear the same people cheering. You see from each different video, each different photographer, their views collaborate that this all took place, and all you have to do is be smart enough to figure out which direction the eclipse took place at from this location. That's all you have to do. That's it. Watch the shadows here. Let's go ahead and play this out. Watch. You can see the darkness coming in. It's getting darker. Shadows are fading out. See this? Look at the light around the horizon here. This is the dark swath. This is the totality. And woo!
Yeah.
That's it. And look at this. Here's another monumental. Here's Venus. So Venus comes out in the sky right here, right?
There was Mercury
Yeah, Mercury too.
closer.
Yeah, so you can't do a sun simulator and make the sky go dark and bring out the stars in the position that they belong. Because if
I mean, I don't ever want to hear anybody ever suggest that there's such a thing as a sun simulator. It's the most whacked out notion that you could ever come up with. We're going to be ready to go and have a debate with anybody who even broaches the topic of sun simulator.
yeah, let's get this back at totality here. Well, there it was. So if you take a look at the scene here, you've got Mercury right off the side right here, and here's Venus.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when you look at this, and then when you look at this, Mercury would be right about here, and here's Venus.
And to note, this is something that they don't do from supposedly outer space, right? Nobody has been able to show me a shot of the Earth from outer space with other stars where you could point it out. The only time you can actually do that is from the ground. We got lots. So this is well documented, well put together. Only if Jeran could actually do it like this. But I know we're not done. We got to go back to Jeranism again, right? Which, you know.
And just... here's just another video of it. This is well documented, everyone. Check it out. But let's go back and see where Jeran takes us now, because this is going to get crazy.
Okay. I want you to pay attention to this eclipse path. This is telling you this is where the sun rises, and this is where it sets. Remember?
Not what it's telling you.
What? He is saying that this is where the sun rises and where the sun sets. Let's hear him say it again, because come on. Did he really say that? Listen.
I want you to pay attention to this eclipse path. This is telling you this is where the sun rises, this is where it sets. Remember?
Does anybody know what this represents right here?
That's the shadow.
This is the shadow. This is the shadow.
They just have it in yellow on this graphic. And Jeran's notion or suggestion that that's the sun's path would imply that the sun circles around Ushuaia.
Right.
It's a big problem for people getting daylight in the north part of the spear Earth.
Yeah, he's saying the sun rises here and the sun sets here. But if we go back to Stellarium, what did we have here? We had the sun coming from the right to the left.
Right to the left.
Right. And in all the videos, what did we see? We saw the shadow actually coming from the right to the left. Or was it coming? Was the shadow coming from the left this way across? So the path of the shadow is not the path of the sun. The sun's
it's
going...
anti-position.
The sun is going from the right to the left. And that would mean that the sun was coming from here around this way in Jeran's world, which is...
It's ridiculous. I mean...
It's ludicrous. But he doesn't stop there. He doubles down on this.
December 14th is around 4 days or 10 days different than that eclipse was. So on the day of the eclipse, this is the path of the sun?
No, that's not the path of the sun. Who could be so foolish? So watch, he's going to show some other paths. Let's think about this, everyone.
Okay, let's look at some other places and see if we see like kind of material.
All right, so everybody remember the
Great American Eclipse.
Great American Eclipse. So the shadow went from the Pacific. It went through Oregon, came across here,
From west
came out
to east.
It went from west to east. So
Opposite direction that the sun was traveling.
is that the path of the sun now? Is that the path of the sun? The sun comes from Oregon and then goes past Florida and sets out to the east.
That's what Jeran believes. And
That's what Jeran believes.
He's the guy that is trustworthy. The hero of Flat Earth, says Will Duffy. The hero, the guy that's smart enough to investigate the shape of our reality. This is the guy that's being paid for his trip. Plus, he was such a coward, he had to have his buddy come with him so that he didn't have to go by himself. And he can't even tell you the direction of a sun path as opposed to a shadow.
Mm-mm. No, he gets it backwards. He says the sun goes from the
sun.
Now, what is it that Aleister Crowley says that the Satanists all do? They do everything, learn to walk and talk and think backwards. It's so obvious that these guys are just straight up Satanists. If you don't think that Jeranism is just super excited and got into this movement so that he could debunk the flat earth and, you know what, the Bible, if you don't think that what we've been saying for the last 8 years, Jason and I have been documenting Jeran and Bob Nodal and the whole team as absolute Satanists the entire time. And if you're just tuning in now, you've got a lot of going back in time to watch. Okay? You just type in Jeranism on Jason's channel and feast.
So he's pointing at sunrise over here. He's saying the sunrise here. This is the path of the sun, even though when we were looking at this, it's very easy to see that the sun was... Alright. The sun is traveling from the right to left, and we are at Union Glacier Camp here. Alright, that is the path of the sun. Crazy guy. He's trying to say the sun went like this. That's the path of the totality, the shadow.
Sun comes this way.
Nope.
And goes off this way. So, good luck to all you faggots who decided to stuff the balls up your vagina and decided to leave the flat Earth and run away because it does.
It's because of people like you, Jeran, saying that this is sunrise and that this is sunset. Right? Anybody that hears that kind of nonsense is going to run. Run. Nobody's dumb enough to believe that.
And everybody tuning in right now, I want to let you all know a little bit of, you might not know this. Okay. Jeran, Jake the Asshole, all these guys, Q, they're not straight. Okay. And they're projecting. All you got to do is get into the subconscious and the thought processes that takes place here. They're projecting outwards everything that they are. And you can hear clearly what he's doing and the words that he chooses, right? There's no need to use language like that. Why does he have to do that? Why doesn't he just call them all cowards? Or what is it that he said to you 8 years ago or 7 years ago? Oh, you better watch out for Ronnie. He's going to Benedict Arnold you, is what him and John LeBon were saying. Well, guess what? You're the one Benedict Arnolding the truth the entire time, and we've documented it. But I mean, how did we not see that Jeran was going to completely flip upside down and talk backwards about the observation that he doesn't even need to go to Antarctica? When you understand this eclipse and how it took place and the evidence that's there, the final experiment is done. So then you start to wonder, well, why are they still doing it? Well, it's because they want to ridicule, mock, and shame the influencers, and ipso de facto take out anybody that thinks the earth is flat and that the Bible is actually true.
Yeah, that's part of their psyop. Fundamental truth number 2.
Wonder what that matches. Does that match the sun going around my head in Antarctica, or does that match the flat Earth prediction?
Get out of here.
How about this one?
The flat Earth prediction. So the flat Earth prediction, let's go back here. The sun never goes south of the Tropic of Capricorn. Never. He's saying that the path of the sun is starting down here by Punta Arenas and Ushuaia. This is where the sun starts. No, the sun never goes south of the tropics. And then he's saying that it hooks around Union Glacier going this way. No, we just watched that it's going from right to left when you're down here, from the west to the east, like this.
In Antarctica, or does that match the flat Earth prediction? How about this one? If the sun goes this way and the shadow path goes that way, and here they show it again. Well, that's what the flat Earth says.
No.
So every one of these eclipses, does he say that the sun is traveling from the west to the east, from the west to the east? Because that's the way the shadows travel, and he calls it the path of the sun.
If you're tuning in and you think that Jeran Campanella doesn't understand that the path of the shadow of an eclipse does the opposite movement, you just should turn this off and never watch a video about the shape of our Earth. And really, shame on Jeranism. Like, how low can you actually go? We're not done. They're going to go even lower, absolutely. But this is pretty low.
It's bad.
So
they're at the bottom of their ball, right?
Pertinent.
Pertinent.
And that was December 4th. But for it to even say sunrise, sunset is strange, because at Union Glacier on December 4th, you really shouldn't have had that. So they have
the depiction, that graphic is taken from above the 79th latitude, right?
See, that's the thing. There is no sunrise or sunset during that time period. And this is purely the path of the shadow from totality. That's all it is.
That's it.
So, I mean, it's showing the path like this.
He wants you to
Just
believe
not.
that's the path of the sun.
All these maps.
Woo! Wow.
It's crazy. Verified.
Path this way. So anyway,
Hun-
just saying.
That's how we got verified.
Just saying. And I haven't looked into that yet. I don't know if the globe makes the same prediction if you were to set up a
Oh.
globe or go to, what's it called? Like Stellarium or Universe Sandbox. It could be that they make the exact same prediction.
The globe makes the prediction. Stellarium is a stereographic virtual reality program because it does show the luminaries rising from Earth and setting into Earth. The only place it doesn't is north of 66.5 degrees and south of 66.5 degrees. We'll be talking about that in a little bit.
Prediction. I don't know. I'm just saying that from a now this one is different. This one shows the other kind of path this way. Well, that's
He doesn't know that.
solar and lunar eclipse of 2019. So that has nothing to do. We're talking about 2021. This one here showing a path like this. Again, just so you notice, it's not showing this. It's not going this way. It's going the way that we claim.
He's saying that's the path of the sun. That's just so crazy.
So again, it'll be interesting to see. Look at all these pictures. They all show the same path that
That's the path of the sun, according to
over
him.
here. This one's showing it like this. So I don't know. Teach their own. Believe what you want. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to believe a word I say. I don't know
We
shit.
don't. You're
Don't
correct.
believe
Going down
him.
there. So
Don't
anyway,
believe
that
him.
is,
And you know what would
Very
be so
telling.
funny? Are we done with this clown? Are we
Yeah.
gonna move on? You know what? He's so tough. He's such a tough guy, right? I mean, I would love to see a face to face with him. Just me and you, or just you, Jason, and him, or me and him, and everybody would get to behold the real Jeranism. He's out here like he's some big tough guy, right? He's always calling people names and acting like he's some hero, right? You can tell this is what a classic bully does, right? And then what happens when somebody stands up to the bully? They piss their pants and run, right? Just like Jeran would.
And so he shows all that. He stops here. He stops here on this. And here is the video of the 2021 solar eclipse where you have this science guy explaining the backwards eclipse in Antarctica, saying how it works on a globe. Right? So this whole thing is scripted. He acts like a fool and he leaves it here. You know, this is the answer, right?
The answer is that it all depends on the perspective that you're looking at the eclipse. If you're looking at the Earth from the other side or the other view, right, it appears that it would be going the other direction, but in all reality, in their model, it's actually still traveling from right to left. It's just when you go to the other side of the sphere and look back at the eclipse, then you could say that it was going from your left to your right. That's exactly what they've done. And this guy explains it with the shiny sphere head, with his shiny sphere ball, and he smuggled these into Antarctica too. I'll save you guys the time. Let's keep moving. I'm talking. We've got lots to get through here. Jeran is such a clown, coward clown, hiding. You know, I mean,
about it.
oh, we're gonna get into
Lisbeth. Yeah, so, you know, there was an update, and that was that he got scammed. He got taken by a flat earther who ripped him off. And so now he's set up a GoFundMe to get Lisbeth to be able to go. And Lisbeth, all she's got is she's friends with somebody from NASA, right?
Well,
And he loved her for that.
Well, yeah, she is on some weird app that the New World Order's been promoting since the coronavirus, right? And nobody's heard of it, but she's a moderator on this app, and it's a voice app where basically you leave voice notes and then you join what would be basically like a Google Hangout or a Zoom call with a group of people without your pictures, right? And they just talk. So, the new level. So she's supposedly a true flat earther that no one has ever heard of before. She's never done any videos. She's never commented on anything. She's never been in any live streams, anything, nowhere. But she's the golden ticket winner of the flat earth community. She's been selected to go and report. And the reason why is because she came in with the narrative that she's all about scientific experiments, right? And that's what she's supposedly conducting. But there's no evidence. Where are the experiments that she's involved in? Where's her website? Where's her NASA friends' information? Where is any of this? There was nothing dropped, no link shared, no anything. And there's supposedly this team now, all these golden ticket winners. So, you know, I want to continue here. I'll come back on and speak a bit more after you touch on the topic.
I don't have much to say. You can keep going.
Well, I mean, let's talk about the situation here. You got Witsit, you got Jeranism, you got who's that other guy? Dave McKeegan, right? That did a great job showing us that the sun is actually below planes in our reality, which is impossible on a sphere Earth with a 92 million mile away sun. But moving past that, so you got a bunch of weird, creeped out men. You got Witsit, don't get it, right? He's really awkward, really weird. You got Jeran, who's the grossest, foul-mouthed, awkward guy you could ever imagine. Dave McKeegan is no better, right? So they've got to bring in, you know, they brought in this feminine aspect of it, right? Right away, I can just imagine in the Campanella household, he's in big trouble now. A bunch of girls being involved, right? Oh, yeah, it's going to go over well in there. Or are they still in one of those open marriages? I don't know. Jeran will have to fill you all in on that information, right? So we've got this Lisbeth character. She comes in. You can see she had the reflection of her ring light in her eyes, so she looked like an alien or just some weird. You know, she. I don't know if we're gonna play the clips. Seems like a nice person. You know, takes care of herself, right? Yeah, I can't see anything wrong or about this character. So let's show the reaction of when she wins, and you can see her acting and how excited she was, and and the other thing too, pay attention to Will's face. He does a lot of telling when you actually pay attention to what he's doing.
Oh yeah, his big tell here was at the end.
At the end, yeah.
Of this. Let's listen to he's done talking to her sort of.
Win, so I'm really glad you applied.
Thank you. Enough clarity.
Awesome. Yeah, so what stood out to me about you is, like you said, that you have a friend who works for NASA. And it sounds like you guys are, doing experiments together, which I think is super cool. I'll also tell you that you have quite a fan club. So I have heard from a lot of people who really want you to win. So I'm really glad you applied.
Thank you.
All right. He's got Elizabeth has quite the fan club, and Will's very happy that.
Well, yeah, she's literally doing what his experiment is already, right? He's supposedly bringing together both sides to conduct actual scientific experiments and not just confirming the bias that they believe they live on a sphere, and because they think they're going to go to the bottom of it, that they're going to prove that they're on a sphere because that's their bias, that's their assumption, right? So she's already doing it. So could you pick a better narrative, right? No. You can't pick a better narrative. It's exactly what they scripted. Everything about the flat earthers are con men, and she's got this endearing, and then she's going to get conned, right? Oh, the money's not there for her to go, everybody. And remember, this was the next day. But Will built this up for weeks, the golden ticket, and how excited he was, and this brought life back into him, and then all of a sudden this entire thing was fake.
Yeah, so here we are. We've been covering flat Earth like 8 years now, and out of all these people, there's only one person that Ronnie and I had ever seen or heard of before, and that was the Chris Crum guy.
And Leaky.
Oh, and
Leaky. Him. Yeah, I've heard of him.
Okay. But the rest of them, no. And they're not content creators. They don't do nothing. Nobody's ever seen or heard of these people before. So this is the group that applied for the golden ticket, and then they get taken out one by one. And so it gets narrowed down. Here's our last few. Oh, there went Crumb. So Will cut out all the guys and brought it down to these two gals.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Good luck, girl.
Good luck, girl. Look at this acting.
And we have a winner.
Oh my God! Thank you, God! Thank you, dude.
Thank you, God.
Oh my
Wow.
God! Oh my God! Oh my gosh!
It's okay.
Oh
Take
my
a
God,
deep breath.
I'm so sorry.
It's a
Little overacting. Then she takes the glasses off because she comes to tears. And yeah, she was excited. I mean, the heartbreak to find out that some flat earther scammed Will Duffy and said he was a wealthy benefactor that would pay for it, and it wasn't true. Wow.
Yeah. He wasn't smart enough, Will, to actually investigate or set up a failsafe to make sure that the supposed wealthy investor was actually going to come through with it. Like, you wouldn't ask for like a cashier's check.
Yeah, an escrow account, all that kind of stuff. Come on.
Come on. This is so fake, and the whole entire thing.
All right, so there was that. And I have this up just to show this graphic later right here. Let's go to
centric system being measured, right? And
Nathan Oakley. We're going to get into the actual coin Earth and the idea that to actually have a spherical or a circle, to have a circle reality, the way that the flat earthers want. We've been showing everybody how it works. Now, Nathan Oakley's tuned in. He's actually caught on to it, right? Take it away.
Yeah, so this has to do with the Will Duffy and Math Powerland call. We've covered that. It was so crazy. Math just blabs for like 52 minutes, and all Will does is be like, hey, yeah, okay, bye. And so Nathan's going to go into an explanation here of latitude and how the sun is perceived. And he's going to be using words, and the graphic really doesn't show you what he's talking about. We'll show you that with a graphic that we have. Check this out.
an angle to the North Pole to form a latitude grid, right? These angle measurements to your North Pole will give you this hemispherical view. It's not even it's not even hemispherical. It's half a circle. Yeah, it's just confusing because they've got this plane of reference underneath it that also has a drop below it to infer that it's...
So it's a circle of sight, everybody. So if you're at the center of this, you see around in 360 degrees, and straight above your head, right, that there's a 90-degree angle there going straight up. And here's a circle here. You don't need to see the rest of the bottom of this. This is just your circle of sight up here.
It's like a sphere. It isn't. Nevertheless, you've got a perspective view, and from your perspective, what you're going to see is the star that you're looking at drop towards the horizon as you back away from it and the angle increases, right? Now that system can be plotted as latitude on a flat plane, right? It's just ever decreasing circles as you approach Polaris at its zenith, right? So you get smaller and smaller and smaller circles.
He horribly butchered that. This is supposed to be the flat Earth debate king. Clown. So it's supposed to be a representation of Polaris and the Sigma Octans region of the sky, moving both north and south, measuring up. Right. That's how you see it getting lower and lower on the horizon. And when you actually cross the equator, right, you'd have to go on the underside of this model to actually see the other celestial pole.
Yeah, I think he starts to get into that.
Until you're standing below Polaris. Now, if you do the same for an inferred position with the north, you start directly below Sigma Octantis.
What?
I'm not going to argue about. Let's just assume
the first
you can
flat
do
earther
that.
to
You
admit
do actually
that.
have a direct.
He said he's not going to argue it. Sigma and Tannis. He actually acknowledged its existence. Nobody does that. Wow.
Point above your head in that scenario, which you don't. Nevertheless, you can do the same thing and create a south-centric system.
Where's the model?
Again, with a view of the stars
Show the model.
receding towards the horizon as you back away from that central point. Now, in that instance, there is no actual star to watch recede towards the horizon, which is kind of a bit squirrely in my description, but we'll have to deal with it. Nevertheless, once you're at that point where you've got two hemispherical views with your positions plotted as latitude, you can then take one of them and put it underneath the other. What you end up with is then a north flat system and a south flat system sandwiched one on top of the other. They're both flat, but you've got one on top of the other. That then forms the celestial sphere view with north and south simultaneously. Now, obviously, in reality, you can't get a view of the north and the south simultaneously. It's just a model. It's just a way of representing this dome-like view of what we...
So, again, with their ridiculous language. Okay, your circle of sight, your field of view, you can measure angles to all the things that move in the sky. It does not in any way form a dome. Right? It doesn't. And there'd be different circular paths of the luminaries, but that's what they do. They continue to say the same things over and over again.
All right. So what he was talking about, we've shown this model. He's saying the stars spread out over the north. So you've got Polaris here, and this outside edge here would actually be at the equator, not all the way around at 90 degrees south, because there's a whole south celestial pole where you have Sigma Octantis, all the stars rotating around that area.
Clockwise.
And
you have all the constellations of the south. Right?
Yeah, if you watch this.
There are no southern constellations in this model on the screen right now. These are all northern constellations. All of them.
Yeah. You're going to have...
equator, right? That's the edge of the model, right? You have to go underneath it to have the celestial southern ones.
Yeah, you got your Big Dipper rotating around here, but where's the Southern Cross?
Yeah,
well, this Southern Cross
is everywhere.
Is down here.
And the one key thing to point out when we go back to the Coin Earth model that you have. So as we can see here, both poles, the north and the south pole, if we get a flip under, that's the north one, right? And that's the south one. So what you notice is you get, they form two pizzas, right? You get an underside pizza and a topside pizza. And as you go to the outer parts of the slices, you'll see that they get wider.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so this is key because when you flip underneath the Earth, they actually get narrower as you go towards the southern pole. And this is what we've been saying for 7-8 years now, that the AE map and model only gets wider. And that's why it's an irrational model. And if you want to have a circular model that's flat, this is the one that you'd actually use to navigate and to actually use coordinate systems and actually have the land masses in relatively correct orientations and size.
Yeah, so this is 30 degrees of longitude right here, and it's 1,800 nautical miles on this right here at the equator, then 1737, then 1554, then 1256, then 892, 461, and then 0. It comes to a point. All these segments of the longitude here, these are all equal. They're all 900, 900, 900, 900. So you got 5,400 nautical miles right there, and you've got, spin this around like this. You got the same thing in the south. You've got the 5,400 nautical miles here, and it's exactly the same. Each one of these lines of latitude shrink from the 1800 to the 1737 to the 1554 to the 1265 to the 892 to the 461 to the 0.
So both sides, the outer ring, which they call Antarctica, has the largest distance, right, in between the latitude and longitudes. It's simple. It's very simple. It doesn't take to be, you don't have to be a flat earth con man like Jeranism to figure this out. Actually, you want to stay as far away from everything. Actually, whatever Jeran tells you, go the opposite way. Right? Do the complete backwards of what Jeran tells you. And so that was great that Nathan Oakley was able to explain this and admit it. Now, he sort of backhandedly said, you know, I guess he's never flown to Australia or New Zealand. We got people in the chat right now that they can verify. They can measure 180 degrees in the southern sky, and they can tell us that yes, there is the Sigma Octans void region, there is the southern crux, and it travels from clockwise patterns, right? Which in the north it doesn't. It travels counterclockwise, the Big Dipper, and you know, it's crazy. These guys will deny actual reality. They, you know, we've never been there, so they don't believe that it happens. What, you know, John LeBon made a video in 2015 and showed everybody the stars that were traveling in a different, and so did Kofo 72. He did a great job. Kofo really did, and he's gone. He quit. Everybody, they all quit.
All right, so this is the only way the latitude and longitude system works with a circle. This is it, because all the latitudes have to get smaller down to a point in the south. We've been pointing this out for quite some time. This is QNF that's been trying to run this PSYOP. He continues to try to promote the circle, and the thing that absolutely blows it apart is this. Alright, so showing on the map that he loves to use so much, the equator is the widest here, and it just continues to fan out here in the AE, which is irrational. It has to shrink back to a point, and the only way you can bring this back to a point is to bring it back underneath like this, coin Earth. And that's what Nathan Oakley is talking about right now, is coin Earth. That's,
yeah, well, he follows along. He pays attention. He knows what's going on.
That is what they are into.
Let's keep rolling. Next topic.
So
9/11, Friday, September 20th. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button and you're not in the chat and you're just lurking, say hi. Let us know you're here. What do you got to hide? You know, before time's up, you better get seen around the truth.
All right, let's go to your stuff right now. We'll get you set up. Check this out, everybody. This is what the QNFs, the Nathan Oakleys are all about. Coin Earth. Let's go over to Ronnie now. And you are good. Oh, I lost your audio.
Okay, sorry everybody. You know, make sure you roll up what's good for you. Have a toke, but always remember that if you see a picture of the sphere Earth, it is a joke. Okay? This is not your reality. And just this alone, the fact that I've got the fact, Will Doofus, Jeran, of Jeranism, show me your picture of your spinning sphere Earth. If not, shut up. I'm tired of you guys acting like you're some big tough guys because there's no because the sun stays above the horizon. You are a joke. Your sphere model is a joke. It was created to be a joke. Time will tell. Let's keep moving here. Me trying to find one real photograph of the supposed globe. You know, it's 2024, right? None of these are real. Okay, these are all cartoons. Wake up. This one here in Russia, they got the colors really wrong. They were going all out on the colors here, right? This is your proof of a sphere Earth in 2024. Oh yeah, we got to do the final experiment and ridicule, mock, and psychologically shame everybody who believes in the flat Earth, thanks to Will Doofus and Jeranism. Globe believers still under the illusion that the outer space is real, walking past all of our flat Earth content. Jason and I, we've been destroying it from day one, the stupid sphere Earth. And when we're done with this segment, Jason's going to smash it again. We give good flat Earth here. We're not coward cuck bitches that just lie and act like tough guys. No, we actually do the work, and we'll show you why the Earth isn't a sphere, right? It has to do with the sun's path. Spherical trigonometry dictates the surface of all standing water must curve downward equally in all directions in your so-called sphere Earth, okay? This is demonstrable reality.
left to right here. Jason, do you see curvature in this picture from left to right? Or from,
Nope.
They like to talk about right to left now because we're all going underneath the ball.
No.
Curvature? There's no curvature. Well, because there's no curvature from left to right, there cannot be curvature from near to far or any other direction. Listen, if you were on a sphere, there would be curve everywhere. It doesn't matter how big the curve would be, you would be able to detect it. And we're going to get into more of that. Okay, listen, Google images of outer space. Go ahead, Google it up. Come on, everybody. You want to live in the heliocentric reality? Prove it. Show me your pictures of outer space. Show me the distant nebula galaxies. Show me everything spinning. And not only that, how can someone explain to me that a Big Bang spit everything out in all directions, but somehow we are locked, spinning around a sphere, spinning around another spot, traveling in other directions other than the one that the supposed Big Bang caused? You're not going to be able to say, no one is going to be able to prove us wrong. Let's keep going here. I'm almost done this. We'll move on to the next section. Thrust you do in a pool, what? Off the wall. Thrust in a boat, which this looks like a lot of fun here. You're doing it, the propeller is pushing against the water, which is giving it back pressure. Thrust off the air is what these jet planes are doing, right? But thrust off a void of physical matter is not possible. This whole rocketry, space travel, all the stuff that they try to tell you is real. Listen, go and get a chamber, right? Vacuum chamber, take all the air out of it, right? And then try to move something in there, right? And watch what happens, okay? I already know what's going to happen. And it's not going to move. And the last time they even remotely closely tried to put someone in a vacuum chamber, he almost died, right? They had to turn it off instantly. Jason, do you have anything to say before I keep going?
Yeah, it's interesting that because I was, into conspiracies and I was on Godlike Productions, I actually came to understand that thrust from a rocket was nonsense and impossible. Even before I heard about the moon landing hoax and before I heard about flat Earth,
Wow.
I was already against rockets in outer space.
Or you're a flat earther. And it's absolutely true, right? And this is what happens. Whenever somebody is peddling or touting a lie, right? They cannot hide from it. It always comes to the surface. It always comes out into the light, right? And of course, if you lived in a vacuum of outer space, space travel would be impossible. Let's keep going here. Here's how they train for the fakery, right? This is them training, right? And then when nobody's looking, they actually film this, and then they tell you that this was him on the moon. Does this not look exactly like what they were doing? I mean,
That's
come on,
how they
guys.
did it.
It's 2024. Everybody knows they faked it. Real doofus and Jeranism, they all know that it was faked. They don't even hide it, right? They know it, but the thing is that they can't prove is that it's a sphere, right? So they've got to do these fake experiments. Flat Earth is stupid. It's such a stupid idea, says the NBC. Some people will believe anything. This guy says, idiots, right? So this is what I want to see. I want to see someone zoom in to the bottom of the sphere and show me stuff upside down, right? I want to see a zoomed out version too. I want to see our path. I want to see like the analemma is. I want to see pictures of the Earth spinning around the sun, spinning around the galaxy, the Milky Way, right? And we're supposedly going to collide into another galaxy soon. You want me to stop the screen share or just change into the next section as I go?
Yeah, just make the switch and we should have it.
Should be
All
good,
right.
right? Curving,
Yeah.
curvature, right? How would we be able to measure it? Would we be able to discern if we lived in a reality that was curving? It says here, the act of curving, the state of being curved, a measure or amount of curving, specifically the rate of change of the angle through which a tangent to a curve turns in moving along the curve, and which for a circle is equal to the reciprocal of the radius. Okay. Why are there no actual pictures with curvature measurements, right? With people showing us, here you go, Ron, shut up. The Earth is a sphere, dummy. Here's my tangent measurements and my curvature calculator proved. No, it's 2024 and we don't have that. You want to mention anything? I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, you can keep going.
Next one here. This is another of these people think they're clever. Ha ha ha, we got you, flat earthers, you stupid flurfs. The only people that are flurfs are those that believe they live on a circular Antarctic ring-walled pizza dome pressurized system. They come out here and say, well, is the bullet train motionless? Because you can stand a coin up when the train is in its acceleration mode and it stays like this, right? Go ahead, you can try it, do it on your own. Ooh, it's fun. It's physics, right? Not only that, but it is enclosed, the train. If there was no windows here, you better believe that that coin is not going to be able to stand here. Their sphere Earth model has no windows. There's no dome circling the globe Earth, protecting it, right? And what happens if you were to stop the train, Jason?
It would fall over.
It would fall over. What happens if you were to abruptly accelerate the train?
Fall over.
Fall over. So if we're to believe that because you can do this with a coin, right? Coin Earth, beautiful to be bringing that up. That the Earth that we are upon has never, ever shifted. Never has it been recorded. Never in the history of its Big Bang by chance creation has it ever deviated from its perfect path, they state. So the fact that you can do this experiment and the coin can fall down either way, right, shows you that the Earth would have to be not moving because we would have been able to detect it. Let's keep going. We got more here. Here it is. Like, I mean, people are so ridiculous. If this is what you'd be feeling like this here, okay? See how he's falling over here? This is how you would be if you were wobbling, gyrating, flying, spinning around a universe. It'd be really hard to stand up straight. Could you imagine how many calculations go into this? And it just fries and irrational. It breaks the computer. Okay, you can't even measure pi. It's irrational. It's an error. Here we got the head of supposed fake space now. They've taken it away from NASA because they faked the moon landing and they knew that there was a shelf life to NASA. But Warner von Braun said that there was going to be a guy named Elon and he was going to show up and he was going to save the day and take us all to Mars. So he's coming out here, this guy, Elon. One of these days, a large comet will hit the Earth and destroy almost all life. And he says it's happened many times before, right? Which is ridiculous and not true. We wouldn't be here if that were true. Eventually, the sun will expand, he says, and boil the oceans and destroy all life. So he's partially correct here, right? Because the Earth is going to be burnt up, all of it. It's not going to be the physical sun in the sky that does it, right? So he's telling half truths, and here he is here, and this is to scale. This is what they're telling you, right? These are sun worshipers. They say the Earth is this big and the sun is this big, and it's just going to keep growing and growing, and then basically just burn the Earth up, right? So we've got to move. We got to planet hop. Is what they're trying to tell people that we're going to do. And it's the most ridiculous, nonsense, irrational idea that I've ever heard of. And go figure, the guy telling it to you is the proud wearer of the Baphomet upside down satanic agenda. How many times
Get out of here,
people? You know, how stupid, stupid do you have to believe to believe that this guy here is actually going to save us, and he's telling us the truth that unless we go to Mars and you give me all your money and you let me control all your thoughts here, the sun is going to explode and destroy everything on this tiny blue dot. This guy. If you think that he's telling you the truth, the Bible's not true, and this guy is telling you the truth, right? Jeran's going to go to the bottom of the sphere, right? Elon's really going to Mars, right? But this is the kind of outfit that he wears. Something is wrong with your intelligence if you think that this guy's out here for the truth and he's trying to help you. He's not. He's one of the Satanists depicted in the scriptures, okay? The beast, the dragon. Final experiment jokes. See, this is the kind of content that people out there are actually showing. Like,
We still face many modern problems, and modern problems require
modern solutions. So it's Jeran again, right? The Bitcoin scam artist that begged, oh, my washer and dryer broke down. Please, can you donate some money to me? He had like 15 different cons back in 2014, 2013. And the witchcraft store selling bat blood. And he admitted it all. We shared it in the podcast not that long ago, a few weeks ago, right? He admitted that he went to a Jesuit high school, right? And that he had a witchcraft store online that sold, and he said it was fake bat's blood, right? So that people can do spells, witchcraft. Right? But he's the one now that's going to tell you he's been chosen. Here we got the final experiment joke. Remember what we showed you, the sphere Earth and the word joke. The O stands for the globe here. Flat Earth shell, anti-flat Earth shell working together. Right? It's so obvious now. Again, you'd have to believe that this guy is for the creator. He's here to share truth with you. If you believe that this guy is also here to share the truth with you. This guy with his eyes closed. You got to be retarded. Okay. And here we go. Let's talk about this. Now there's these flat earth Freemason Bibles, which we've been saying the Freemasons have been set up to lie and to sell you the false information so that they can, harbor the truth that you're in actual supernatural virtual reality, right? That it is flat and then it repeats just like the way that the video game Asteroids showed, right? They know these things, but they're going to hide it from you. But this is what they're going to show.
All right. You don't want to know how I acquired this? A real Freemasonic Bible. 1955. Earth. The Earth was regarded as the universe itself. Every other body, the heavens, sun, moon, and stars being subsidiary to it. There seem traces of the idea that the world was a disk, bordered by the ocean and Jerusalem as its center. Heaven. The Jews divided heaven into three parts. The atmosphere, where the clouds gather. The firmament, in which sun, moon, and stars are fixed. And the upper heaven, the abode of God and his angels.
Right? So they do tell you certain things, but they also, while they tell you them, they lie about it. That's what Jeranism has been doing the entire time. It's no different than any of the Jesuits from the past years, like Newton, right? And Copernicus, Sticks and Shadows, right? Aristophanes, right? All of these different things. And most of the time, all you have to do is flip what they say to actually get the truth. Did you want to comment, Jason? A couple more and we're done.
Yeah, so much of it is just word games. I mean, firmament's a bad translation. The word universe and universal,
yeah,
that word, if you look up the etymology of it, I mean, that word came about as a result of Catholics saying that the word Catholic means universe, and they just made it up, right? So they make up these new words, and then they create a definition for it, and it's a semantic game that we're playing that it's so crazy. They just say firmament, and now all of a sudden there's supposed to be a dome.
Yeah, well, it's
when the Bible says there's four corners, right?
And the stars are fixed, they're saying here. Right?
Yeah,
they're not moving.
Get out of here.
In the firmament. Yeah, that's what the Freemasons do, right? And then when you get to the top levels, they go like this, and they say, well, this is who we worship, right? That Azazel, the head demon, no, that's the good guy, right? they make everything which is bad good and which is good bad. Hey, everybody, what a great super harvest eclipse moon we just had. Check this out. Come on. This was
actually really good on here.
So a really fun experiment to do, right, that I've done before is you start to look around and witness your reality, is find lots of places to watch the moon rises and find roads that head in that direction that have ups and downs. And what end up happening is you'll see multiple moon rise and sets as you're driving, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. This was beautiful, right? And I hope you witnessed it on the other side of the screen. We are not being endorsed at all by IKEA, right? There's a new cabinet place here in Austin that we would endorse if we were going to talk about. So, I mean, what a great harvest moon. I hope everybody got to see it. I know YD was sending lots of great pictures, right? Isn't it cool how you can drive around? And what we've been explaining for a long time here is that the luminaries are locked on every observer's position, right? They are fixed to your position. And the only thing is the higher you go in altitude, right, the further away they get. So you can't actually ever get to it. It's like the end of a rainbow. You can't get to the end of a rainbow because it continues to move away from you as you try to get to it, right?
Absolutely.
And driving around, you can see amazing things. Like I said, with hills, the rise and sets of the moon is just amazing. So we not only do we have the equinox right now, but bordering the equinox, we have two eclipses, right? Albeit not the full amazing ones that we've enjoyed the last 7 years.
Right.
We've had the smaller eclipse here that just took place, and then we'll have the other one in a few weeks from now. And usually they are always you'll get the solar and lunar eclipse tied. Now it just flips. Sometimes you have the lunar first, sometimes you have the solar first, and they generally happen on the solstices or the equinoxes, right? But we do have them on the solstices as well, debunking the sphere Earth. But that's all I wanted to present. You can take the screen share back. Yeah, again, thank you everyone for tuning in. I just constantly want people, you don't need to be a genius, You just need to start looking around you and observing. You'll see the moon, you'll see the sun, you'll see stars, you'll see them all with clouds behind them, right? You're going to notice that there's no way that the moon and the sun could be, thousands of miles away, because you can actually film it. And what you can do is you can focus in on a building that's between 8 to 10 miles away, and you'll notice, oh, wow, I can't actually focus in on that building. And then what you do is you point it up at the moon, and you'll be able to focus in perfectly clear, right? Showing you that moon is closer to you than that building was.
Yeah, so before we get to our next song break, I want to bring back a segment that we've started, and that is Memes of the Week. And so this is an old one right here, but I just want everybody to remember this one for when we come back. There's only 3 models of reality that can explain day and night. That's the spinning balls of geocentrism and heliocentrism. There's the horizontal circles of the pizza domeism. And then there's equidistant circles tilted based on latitude. So these are the 3 possible explanations for day and night. When we come back, we're going to take a look at how the equinox works on all 3 of these models. But let's go ahead, because there have been some new submissions. And we want to remind everybody that you submit your memes at Reality Check Chat on Telegram. This one came about as a result of Zworst having shared a meme that was similar to this, but it really wasn't sized quite correctly. So they say that the moon is 2,159.2 miles wide in diameter, and the United States is wider than that. So if you measure it out from San Fran across, you'll come to the tip here of North Carolina. You'll have this is about 2,159 miles right here. And so this is the moon and the USA to scale, but they say that this is 238,000 miles away. So look at, if you want to compare the moon to the United States with your eyes, you can actually see something on 238,000 miles away. Like this feature is like the size of Texas right here. Get out of here. Come on.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see it. No way.
All right. So this came from Seth here. We've got, look at me, I'm in space with Homer. Everybody make sure you get there and vote for your favorite memes, because at the end of this false dichotomy PSYOP, we're going to be checking to see who got the most thumbs up for the meme shared. So this was another version of a meme that you shared. This is from Adam Wilson. The wheel interacts with the ground, the propeller interacts with the water, the turbine interacts with the air, the rocket engine interacts with space vacuum. Nope, nothing to push off of. No thrust. And we also have from Adam Wilson, Flat Earth is such a stupid idea, from a NPC. Some people believe anything while he's upside down. This should just have Jeran's face on it, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe he's an NPC though. And trying to mock flat earthers as they believe something like this. Right? Ridiculous, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to see how the equinox works on the 3 different models of reality.
Let's go.
Burnt out but not quite broken. Inconsistent lives thrown into the ocean. Spin around and round, hold your breath as we both drown. Anxious apart, bipolar. Anyone can ride on this roller coaster. When your mind's too loud, common sense can sink you down. Don't quit me now. Soak up the sound, we'll turn around. Another sunny day without you. I know I'm not all blemished and bruised.
And we are back, giving you a little bit of a sneak peek of how the eclipse actually works. And so this is the Andrew Marsh site that we've been using, right?
Yeah, this is a depiction of the equinox. Sorry, I knew you meant equinox.
Equinox. What did I say?
Eclipse. But that's okay. The two have been so joined together right now, and it's totally normal. I just want to make sure for the listening audience that you meant equinox.
Equinox. Yeah, so this is a 3D perspective of, we can see the path of the sun. The yellow right here is the ecliptic, and so this is the path of the luminaries around the observer, and you can actually see that it rises from Earth and sets into Earth. We'll be coming back to this view. What I want to do is I want to work our way through the 3 different models, and I just want you all to keep this version in mind. If anybody has any questions, we can always come back and reference this. But this Andrew Marsh site, so what it does is it shows us the actual data of the azimuth and the altitude of the sun around an observer on a flat plane to 1/100th of a degree per second.
And so, that might sound complicated to you on the other side of the screen, but it's not, okay? The azimuth, see that circle around the observer here, the field of view is the larger area, but the circle of sight is the distance that we can see to the horizon. Now, you can see numbers there, and you also have your cardinal directions, okay? So the azimuth is just where on this circle of sight, the ticks here that go around, where you are looking at. So when someone says it's at 42 or 32, and you just turn to that number on the circle around you, and you're able to navigate that way. It's very simple. It's not complicated.
All right, so I'm going to be picking on New Orleans a bunch because it's at a great, it's at a great location where it's at 90 degrees west longitude.
Not picking on, choosing.
Yeah. And 30 degrees north. So it's at an intersection of major grid lines where it's easy to find.
Even.
And, a lot of people have probably gotten as far as New Orleans at some point in their life, so they can actually, it's the same latitude as we are in Austin here. So this 30 degrees is works for us as well. But this data right here, the way it's being depicted, I want to show everybody, Andrew Marsh tries to depict this in the heliocentric model as well. Now, somebody out there is obviously going to want to at some point say, "Oh, that Andrew Marsh stuff, that's a
globe pop model.
That's a globe model." So we are going to be showing everybody that it is absolutely not a globe model. So here's the same Andrew Marsh data. It's got the same thing where if I adjust this around here, you're going to see the tilt. Like if I go sideways here, watch what's happening as I adjust the latitude. So at the equator, it's straight up like this, and then it's tilted back the other way. Right. So if I show you that type of movement out here, if I change my latitude, you can see how the ecliptic tilt is going around the observer like this, right?
That's correct. You just move north and south, and all that happens is the path of the sun above you angles lower and higher in the sky.
All right, so here we are back in New Orleans, and I want to show everybody that here's the heliocentric version of this, right? Wow.
There we go. Now we're on to model 2. The last model was the stereographic biblical virtual reality model, Andrew Marsh site.
All right, so let's go to the fall equinox here.
This is the heliocentrism model that nobody's going to share with you, right? What? Jeran doesn't use this, right? As far as I can tell.
Yeah, so this right here is is where this is the reason why they really don't want to model up heliocentrism, because what we've done is we've taken ourselves to the equinox, day of the year, September 22nd, right here, and look at what they have here. They have the Earth at a 23.5 degree tilt. To the orbit of the sun, the ecliptic plane. So, if we bring this to sunrise here, let's get this. So the sunrise, if you look at it like this, you can see that sunrise is 23.5 degrees tilted. Let's go ahead and get ourselves on the equator here.
And not only that, but for Will's experiment, it demands that the Earth should be tilted. It has to be tilted like this in his model. That's the reason why you have the 24-hour sun in both the south and the north, is because of the tilt. All that happens is then the Earth, it goes up and it tilts to the north in the winter months for the north.
So here we are on the equator. And watch here. So the sunrise is 23.5 degrees north of the ecliptic plane. It's not until you get to solar noon. This is the only time that the sun would be 90 degrees overhead for a person on the equator. And then at sunset, so it's 23.5 degrees below here, and it's 23.5 degrees high here. So let me show you here. If we go to a solstice, all the way around here. So the only time you're going to have a 90-70 in heliocentrism is at the solstices, and that would be that the sun would rise at the equator 90 degrees here, then it would be 23.5 degrees off at the solar noon right here, right? The solar noon would be at the Tropic of Cancer up here, and then at sunset would be the only time that you're back at 90, and that's only on the equator, everybody. That's the only time you would have a 90-70 is at the solstices. So this was summer solstice. Let's go to the winter solstice. Now you can see that the 90 would be at the equator on the winter solstice, and then at solar noon you would have the sun at the Tropic of Capricorn, and then at sunset you would have, this is your 90-70. That's the only time it would work. Now if we go back to our fall equinox, you can see that Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees here. So there would be no 90-70 anywhere on Earth in heliocentrism. Nowhere.
Look at this. People, please. I want everyone to clearly understand what's being shown here. Okay, the angle. Can you zoom in on Earth?
Well, see, that's the thing. This is as close as I can get here.
Okay.
So if I want to get closer, watch what happens. Boom! They just stood up Earth straight.
All of a sudden now it's plumb. It's not
now
tilted
it's plumb
anymore. What?
Now we can actually.
Yeah.
Now we can actually see. We can get in close and take a look at this, but now all of a sudden Earth lost its tilt. Let's go back to. This is the.
There it
this
goes.
is the.
There'd be the tilt right there.
There's the heliocentric view. So, Earth's tilted at the equinox, right?
Yeah. So what we're pointing out here is to actually have the model in any way, shape, or form look like it even works at all. They actually have to nullify or take away the tilt, which is the only thing that Will Doofus thinks that proves that his final experiment makes it a sphere, because he says that it's the reason that we get the 24-hour daylight. He says it's because of the tilt of the Earth. It's absolutely not true. And this modeling program right here falsifies his statements.
There we go. So as soon as you want to come in and actually look at the rise and set angles, they have to stand Earth up straight, because now some people can see the 90 to 70 here, right?
Yeah,
and they also have this vertical terminator line. So if you change the time of the day, watch, I'll get it back farther. They don't have it tilted at all whatsoever. Right? You see how it... But if we go back to this and take a look at it...
There be the tilt.
Now all of a sudden...
So one thing to point out here before you leave this site, why is it that we don't have the correct constellations in their glory with this animation locked, right? Why are they just putting up just a bunch of different dots, right? We don't have the actual constellations of the houses of the sky in the correct orientation in the place with this path at all.
Yeah, where's Polaris here?
Where?
Can you see Polaris?
Show me the Big Dipper.
Where's Sigma Octans?
Why?
Nothing.
So that's the first problem. And then the next problem is with this tilt. Right?
Yeah.
So the tilt really debunks the model.
Well, and look at, so you can see here they've got the lighting of the Earth set up with the tilt right here. Watch. See how it's working?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then let's go to the close-up view. Oh, now all of a sudden the shadow goes around vertical.
Yeah, and that's the only way that they can and so the other issue here with the sphere is the lines of latitude and longitude are not parallel on a sphere. So I want to explain that again. So where Jason has it, where if you put it 90 overhead with the Andrew Marsh laid on top of the sphere, if we go back to that spot, keep the sun to 90. You're almost there. Right here in the model of the sphere. There you go. Right. So if we move, if we follow the lines of longitude, right? Latitude. Sorry. Always remember the lines of latitude like a ladder climbing up. Okay. That's the little trick to remember. The longitude are the long ones going up and down, and latitude are like the ladder rungs going up. So if we move from here and we look to the right or to the left of the observer, so the lines on a sphere would be converging. If we were to be looking to the 9270, right, the angles would never be 9270 ever on a sphere.
No.
People need to understand that what they're trying to do, that you can't turn a sphere into a grid, right? This is an irrational, illogical demonstration that they're trying to show you here. And it gets exacerbated when you do the macro here and you actually see the tilt. Right. And if you were to try and put the angles on here, it would just fall apart.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. I want to show everybody. So this is the Andrew Marsh data right here. If I change days of the year, all right, you can see the sun traveling through the analemma path right now. All right, this is the sun goes 23.5 degrees to the north. If you take a look at the edge of this ring right here, the sun goes, let's go to the summer solstice. So 23.5 degrees to the north of east and 23.5 degrees to the north of west is the maximum path. They call that the tropics, and it's the same to the south, 23.5 to 23.5. We go to the winter solstice, we can see that this is the farthest southern path out here at the winter solstice. Now, let's take a look at this diagram here and take a look at what we have here. What Andrew Marsh did is he took the data from this model right here on a flat plane, and he tried to apply it to the globe here, but look at the rise and set angles. At the rise and set angles only go 180 degrees here. You see how you have this empty space?
It's not circling around the Earth, right? He's had to just flatten the side of the sphere Earth. It's, again, exacerbating the situation upon exacerbation. That's all this gross balls in space team does, right? You clearly see, right, Jason, people can clearly see that the circle of sight, the field of view there is a flat plane. You got it sticking on side of a ball.
Yeah.
It's not convexly following the curvature of the Earth. They've had to create a fake plane of reality to actually measure anything, because you can't measure sunrise and set angles from a sphere. The whole thing is just ridiculous. This right here is, if Jeran or Will Doofus or Mick Toon or Fight the Flat Earth or any of those nonsense shiltards want to keep all their nonsense lying, this right here destroys them. This is the best model that they have to represent the sun's path over the globe Earth. Here it is, everybody. This is their best attempt. Look at it.
It crashes. The sun crashes right into Earth.
Into the Earth. It goes into Earth and sets in and goes below the ground in this demonstration. So whose model is being represented here? Jeran will say, Jason and Ronnie, all they do is share globe projections. No, it's the true stereographic virtual reality model that's being occulted. The globe Earth, the sun just set into your sphere, clown shoes, Bob's favorite word. Where are you, clowns? Come on out. Come on, leave a comment in the chat here. Anybody that's tuning in, Jeran, I know you're lurking. Come on, explain this, Will. All you clowns out there that fight the flat Earth, come on, explain, why does this model have the sun setting into the ground? Jason, what is this? This is the globe. This is the globe's, Jason said we're going to see the 3 versions of reality, right? This is the globe's submission, and it needs to be thrown out of the courtroom. I don't even want it in my sight anymore. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absurd. So let's go ahead and move on to the pressurized pizza dome. And so what they have going on now is they've tried to implement the use of this model here. This is the Walter Bislin's model that there's a fake flat earther is using now. And so we'll get this set up here, and we're going to show everybody. So this circle right here is supposed to represent what we were just looking at in the heliocentric model. Let's get clean this up just a hair.
Well, all this does, again, here I'm going to say it further how many times I'm using this, exacerbates the situation even further. It does not end with the exacerbations here. I'm so sick of these guys, and they're having to make things worse. Okay, when you plot the dome on top of the single poled Earth here, right? You're fighting against a irrational model, and it really exacerbates the situation that, I think a child could understand that this is not reality. So the stars up here on the top of the dome, Jason, we're to believe that they're spiraling, bending around like Stephen Hawking's black hole, warping space-time and reality, so that everything appears just the way that it does, true and right, the way that it rises and sets. And then what are we supposed to believe here? Is there people out here actually promoting that this is our reality besides Q and Jake?
Yeah, absolutely. They're trying to apply this right here on the circular Earth. And so by using the day of the year thing, you see how it's moving the yellow line right here? Mm-hmm. So when the line gets to right in the middle, this is your equinox.
Oh, equinox. Well, there's a problem, Jason.
Yeah, so the sun has to rise. The sun has to rise 90 degrees east over here. So set 270 degrees west over here, right?
Can you zoom in?
Yeah.
Yeah, so why is it not rising and setting 9270? Because show me, please, on that circle where 270 is.
Right here.
No, on the model. Not on that demonstration. The model. Where's the equator?
The equator is the gray circle down here.
Again, I want to make sure people understand. So the sun was setting on the yellow line, right? It's not on the equator. So it's not even 9270 in the diagram that you've got on the screen right now. This model is even worse than the sphere model. You see how, so that yellow line needs to be lined up with the equator.
Yeah.
There. Thank you.
Wait, you can't do that. So let's back up. You can't do that. So let's roll so the sun is up here. It's the yellow.
It's stuck in the firmament there, Freemason firmament.
All right. So here we get sunrise. You see how the shadow has gone across half the earth here. And down here in your circle of sight, this is your east. This is where the sun is actually rising, where you're looking due east.
Again, that wasn't even looking due east on top of the map. You're looking, okay, due east is that, again, the equator. You're looking, what's that, 4, 5, 6 degrees south. Look at it. This model is debunking itself.
All right, and this hook line right here is where the sun has to be.
That's the real sun.
The sun has to be up here.
Wow. Look at
right?
this.
But for the observer down here,
it's bending.
They have to see the sun rising due east. And it has to make a straight line shadow as the sun rises over. Let's get a view up here.
Wow.
Right, so here comes the sun to solar noon, and then watch as it goes out. So the sun has to be circling off to the right out like that. But let's watch this. The sun has to be setting. The sun has to have gone down right here, but they are saying that the sun is out over here.
Over there.
I mean, this is horrible. Now let's go ahead and change our day here because we can bring the moon in, and let's get out here. So after the equinox, this is the best time of the year. This is when you can absolutely wreck fake flat earthers. And let's take a look at a path now where we've got the sun rising from way far south of east and coming around here. And let's even bring our latitude down a little bit farther. All right, so this is going to be incredible. We've got Sigma octans rising. We're going to have our Southern Cross up here. Let's get back to a sunrise.
What do you mean? It's out there, but it's in there.
And what we have here is the sun rising. Boom, the sun comes up here. This is way far south of east, you see?
At least they got it coming up from below the ground. At least they have that right.
Yeah.
But everything
so you're looking this way. You're seeing the sunrise over here.
South. Way south.
And yet that they are saying the sun is
way over there.
Over here. Yeah.
Oh, it's worse than Stephen Hawking's heliocentric model. This one's way worse because it's the distorted version of the sphere Earth reality. That's what they've done. I mean, look at how funny that looks.
Now watch the moon in this. So the moon's right here. The moon is rising from right, south of east. And here comes, they say the moon's right here. Right? Here comes
it's in
the
the daylight portion of the map. Wow. If that's what they want to believe, none of it matches, none of it lines up. They don't even have the equator lined up with the sun's rise path on the model showing the 9270. Nothing is right here in this at all.
You cannot have 9270 equinox on the pressurized pizza dome, even invoking the personal circle of sight. Even invoking that. But remember, they say that the luminaries are up here. The sun's 3,000 miles high. Polaris is 3,000 miles high. Sigma Octans, 3,000 miles high because of triangulation, right? Right. So the equinox does not work on this type of model at all. That was literally I think the first debunk video I did of the pressurized pizza dome was the equinox. And we are almost to the equinox, everybody. Let's take a quick look at the equinox. They say it is Sunday, September 22nd in the Central Time Zone at 7:43 a.m. Obviously that well, look at these graphics here. Come on. Let's check this out. They have, where's the tilt? They have the Earth facing the wrong direction in the tilt in this picture. Right, they have the sun on the side here. This would be a solstice. Right, and in this one they have the sun. This would be a solstice as well. So the graphics are absolutely horrible when it comes to this. You see here, like in a graphic like this.
This is what the Elon Musk one I showed. Just the giant, everything is the sun, and then there's this little tiny Earth.
This is what we were showing with that first Andrew Marsh version.
The angle.
That the tilt at the equinox.
It doesn't allow the sun to rise due east and set due west anywhere.
Nowhere, absolutely nowhere.
And and now we know why nobody really brings this up on the globe Earth side. That's why they haven't been, smashing the Earth. Well, yeah, of course. Look, this is exactly how it works. No, they just gently talk about it. Will Doofus, this is everything that Will Doofus says. That the Earth is a sphere, and his experiment is going to prove, hinges on the fact that the Earth is tilted like this. But like Jason said, there's an experiment that's coming up, right? I guess the 22nd, 23rd. If you measure, I guess it's the 23rd, actually. We're going to be correct from where we're positioned. The sun will be rising due east and setting due west. That's impossible on a sphere tilted. So which way are you going to have it, Will? Is the sphere only tilted when you need it to be? But then when we measure the actual sunrise angles and set angles, now the sphere doesn't have to be tilted. Uh-oh. Guess what? Both of those observations line up with biblical stereographic virtual reality.
Yeah, so I'm going to show everybody when the equinox is now. I've moved back up to 30 degrees north latitude. Let's get lined up here and check out when the equinox really is going to take place. So let's get to our sunrise here. Here comes the sun. Let's go back here. Alright, so here is the 20th. This was the rise this morning for a person at 30 degrees north latitude. And you can see here that the sun is still rising north of east. What did you want to say?
No, you're on topic. Continue, please.
Yeah, so then tomorrow morning, look what happened. This path clicked one click closer, but the sun is still rising on the 21st to the north of east. Let's go to the 22nd. At rise, it's still rising from the north of east. Let's get in here a little bit closer. We're gonna really dial in on this. And then on the 23rd, you can see that the sun rises just to the south of east. All right, so it's between the 22nd and the 23rd that the path of the sun is going to be directly 90 and 270 at the set. And so that's how you can tell when the equinox is, and what you use is a equatorial sundial, right? The equatorial sundial will tell you. So let's go ahead and take a look at this all now from the stereographic biblical virtual reality standpoint. And we'll get ourselves back up on the equator. Let's get over by land a little bit.
So we know that out of all three models, right, the globe Earth one you can throw out because it has to actually make the globe Earth a flat plane like this, which it's not. To make any of the angles work, it has to create the same flat plane that we're looking at now. So globe Earth loses on that. And then the AE map and model, as you've seen in the Stellarium program that Jason had, the sun was rising at the E, which stood for the heading of the compass of east, which is aligned with the equator. And in our model, it actually has the east and the west line perfectly running in parallel with where it is in the model and in the map. Okay. Only one that it works on out of the three.
Only one. So the sun rises from Earth, comes across, and here's your straight line shadows. We're at the equator, and boom, setting into Earth. And then this just all happens based on your longitude as far as the timing is concerned of it. But your latitude sets the tilt of the ecliptic here.
That's it.
Let's go up to New Orleans. We were looking at this view a couple of times. Let's show it here. We're pretty close there. And so you can see here that at the equinox, even though the sun doesn't go directly overhead because we're 30 degrees north, it does rise at 90 degrees east, and it comes around and it sets at 270 degrees west. Now, a day before the equinox, like where we're at right now, or 2 days before, you can see that
so now we're talking about the gates. So all of this, what we're looking at, has been perfectly explained and expressed in the book of Enoch. You have the 6 gates that we got mocked for. Everybody got mocked about it. Zen Garcia tried to plot it around a stupid AE map, and it was nonsense. We were trying to explain to him, it's your circle of sight. So the east sign is in one of the gates, right? As the sun crosses that gate, it moves into the next one.
So here's September 20th. Here's 21st and the 22nd. See, this is each day, this is the path of the sun, and it's going to be rising from the south of east and setting to the south of west all the way until the next spring equinox. If we extend this out here, all these rise and set angles are from south of east and setting to the south of west. Another way that you can view that is another one of the models that represent stereographic biblical virtual reality.
Sun and moon calc.
Sun and moon calc. So, what does it show? We're at the equator. We've got sunrise, sunset.
Straight.
This is
You see the line, right? Everybody can see that it's straight. It's not curving up or down, left or right.
Yep. Now, Andrew Marsh has another version just like this. So there's 3 Andrew Marshes. There's the heliocentric, and then there's this one, which is like the I can get a map up here. Let's get this over to our New Orleans location. And this is just like SunCalc, except they give you these different projection methods. So you have Cartesian. This would be funny. I want to see Jeran use this one. So let's get this.
Don't say that. Oy vey. He's going to use it.
Watch this. He's going to say, here is the path of the sun right here. Here's the path of the sun. The sun's going like this, right?
It's circling around the way we would expect it on the flat Earth.
So that's a Cartesian view.
Oh boy.
Now the stereo view, you would think stereographic, maybe it's the stereo view, but look at what you have here the sun only rises 23.5 degrees to the north of east and 23.5 degrees to the south of east. And this is super inflated right here.
Why is it going like that?
The equidistant, not correct. But when you go to the spherical, now all of a sudden you have the exact same grid work right here.
The other side.
As this right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And it's not a globe. That's on a flat plane. We showed you. Go back to the one on the globe, please. How it doesn't work. On the globe, they have to project the sphere, the plane into outer space. Look, you see where the lines are, everybody? You see how there's, like, it's floating?
Yeah, and so
ridiculous.
This is a non-work, and it even has the sun just crashing right into Earth. Yeah.
And none of the stars are in the correct positions, nor do they have the sunrise or sunset. But when we go to the Andrew Marsh one again, and you can show me below, the sun rises up out of the earth and then goes overhead and then sets back down into the earth, right? Everywhere on earth, albeit it only does it once in the north and once in the south, right? Beyond, the 70th latitude, right? It still does rise and set everywhere on earth, everywhere.
But this is all taking place in a person's actual circle of sight. So if we get down here to an actual 10 to 15, 10 mile view to the horizon at sunrise, right? The sun rises at 90 degrees east here, comes around, sets to, well, it's going right into Earth, everybody. This
set
is
into the ground, just like you can witness and observe and film.
On a flat plane, and here it is on Stellarium, rising from Earth, setting into Earth, but way too big of a circle of sight. Let's get it down here to a real circle of sight. Right, and then rising from Earth, setting
set underground
into Earth. And let's go ahead and show this in Stellarium for everybody as well. Take off the water. Where is that? The ground. Alright, so we'll back out a little bit here. And you can see that the sun is rising. It's just, if I click on, let me get the sun locked on. So click on it, and we'll track to it. So now as we scroll, we took our ground off, but we can see that this is luminaries rotating around the observer. And if we put the ground back on, and then do the same scrolling, you can see that the luminaries in Stellarium are just rotating around the observer right here in your local circle of sight. That's it.
It's great.
Alright, so I just wanted to point out the stream that we did last year. Same time last year. This was the fall equinox last year, and this is modeling with a 3D modeling program. How a
equatorial
sundial works. So there is an actual light source in the 3D modeling program, where the gnomon here is a solid object, and so the light is casting a shadow, and so when the sun rotates around this, you will see that the shadow rotates and shows the time as the sun goes around like this.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see
what's key to this moment is when it crosses, it goes from one side of the gnomon of the plane here to the other side, sort of the way that Coin Earth would have to work, right?
Mm-hmm. So right here you can see that we've got the sun to the north of east, and it's illuminating this north side of the sundial. And then we'll skip through here a little bit. And now all of a sudden I have it lined up where the sun's coming up due east.
It's riding along the edge now. And what the key point is when you're in the south, you have to point the gnomon at sigma octans. And when you're in the north, you have to point it at Polaris.
Now you can see that there's no shadow on either side of this.
That's no shadow.
No shadow.
But you have to point the gnomon in the correct place to have this work.
So here comes the rotation. And now I'm moving the sun to the south of east, and there's a shadow on the south face now. So everybody's equatorial sundials after the 22nd, 23rd, what will happen is the sun will be rising and illuminating the south side of this equatorial sundial now. All right, this is real, everybody. In this video, there was a guy that did the demonstration. It's a great video where he shows how on the equinox there is no shadow on either side of this, and so you can see that this is after the equinox here. On the equinox there's no shadow, and that cannot work with the pressurized pizza dome, and it cannot work with the globe either.
It's a huge problem with the globe as well.
Huge.
The angles don't work. None of them. The tangents.
So this is a equinox special, brother. We are going into the zone where from now on all of the sunrises and sunsets are going to be south of east and south of west everywhere on Earth, in the north and in the south. Just show everybody that, well, maybe people will like it from this. We'll bring up the date slider. Let's go ahead and give you a little bit of an overview. So from this point on, all sunrises, sunsets are coming from the south of east and setting to the south of west, and it doesn't matter if you're in the north, right? All angles are coming up from the south of east, south of west, and then as you go south,
that's how it works. The angle of the tilt to the sun, and in its reciprocal, it stays above the horizon. In the south in the winter, in their summer, and in the north in their summer, it does the exact same path.
And it gets worse all the way out to the winter solstice.
More steep, debunking the pressurized pizza dome model.
Yeah, and this is the reason why your days are longer, right? Because the sun is up. Sun is up longer. It has a longer path. If we take this down south here, let's go down near the Union Glacier, maybe a little bit farther north. So right here we are at 65 degrees, 0.66, and you can see that the sun is just setting for just a little bit. So you got the sunrise over here. Let's get our date to the solstice. Okay. You see how the sun is rising right here, coming around and setting right here. Guess when this is going to be 24-hour sun? That is going to be at 66.5, because if we bring this back up to the equator, I just want to show everybody from the side here. Look at this on the side here. This is 15 degrees, 75 to 90. So then 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, and half. So this is 23.5 degrees right here. And that is the reason why when we come down here to 66.5 degrees, that's the reason why the sun is now not setting. Right, so that's the ecliptic tilt right there.
That's the tilt. Now, it's not the globe Earth sphere tilting away that you live on. That's the angle of the actual path of the sun, right? In a theoretical model, because everything only happens within your circle of sight. But we can show you where each observer's circle of sight will be and what it'll represent with the path of the sun here in this diagram. And we do it on a fixed stationary flat plane where everything lines up. The equator lines up, the due east, due west lines up, everything lines up in this model. And it's the only working model of reality.
Yeah, once again, this is going to be the past scene. We'll go to December Union Glacier.
This is
right here.
The final dichotomy.
False dichotomy.
The Shield-Grift network.
Yep, so the sun gets to its lowest point right here. This is where the eclipse took place right there. And it's back on the rise again.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what they're going to witness. And we'll be watching so that we can make sure that the modeling program that we're using is correct, right? We want to see it verified too.
Yeah, well, this has been a great I can't even speak
Equinox.
right now. Equinox. And so we've explained it from heliocentrism standpoint, the pressurized pizza domes standpoint, and from the biblical stereographic virtual reality. There's only one that works, and so Sunday we are probably going to be doing another type of equinox special, but that's going to be the real biblical one where we're going into the true Hebrew calendar and talking about what are the feast dates of the fall. When would we be looking for a great tribulation to begin? And the equinox is a marker that's getting us really close. You mentioned earlier that we just had a lunar eclipse, and we do have the solar eclipse coming up the day before trumpets. And so we're going to be going through all the details of what's happening and when. We've got the UN doing a special meeting on the 22nd and 23rd. We know that the Freemasons love that 923 and 922. And we'll be going through all that this Sunday.
Yeah, and if you tune in, I'll cover the actual, distractionary headlines. You've got all the different narratives that they're running, and I'll share some brand new music on Sunday morning over on Rumble. All the descriptions for everything that we do, all the links are in the description box below. Just like the sun, sets below the earth. If you want to join us in other places, all of the links are in the description box below this video. If you want to find us on Telegram, you're tuned in, and anybody that's interested in this debate of what shape reality is, do us a favor and do them a favor, share this information with them so that they can then decide. Okay, and that's all we ask for. I'm super excited that I got to expend this beautiful equinox special with you all. I'm thankful and I'm grateful. I think we explained a lot. If you have any questions, we are available. You can leave a comment below, or again, you can join us on Telegram. And you can post pictures, memes, get involved, and join the team. There's a lot going on. We've lost audio.
Yeah, I've got it back.
Okay.
But I guess we might be at the end of this podcast. Hopefully people can hear this. Where's the only place people are going to get this content, brother?
On the Yahawashai News Networks.